Back in April this year, just around Easter time, we decided to go camping. Pretty much it was the camping trip from hell. It started off with my boys getting sick. A few days later, they would get earaches. Turned out that I ended up getting an earache. Eventually, it got so bad that I ended up going to the local doctor, which was just in a country town. What ended up happening is I felt this overwhelming pressure in my right ear, and I felt this stuff coming out of my ear. So basically what had happened, it had perforated because of all the pressure behind my eardrum. And what followed after that was complete silence. The eardrum had no way of producing those sounds and scared the crap out of me. How am I going to survive as an engineer? I started looking up like what happens if you have a perforated eardrum, started Googling it. It's like hearing could take 6 months to return. It could take 1 month. It might not come back as it was. And I started thinking, well, what's that going to mean? I've got clients that are waiting on work. Basically, I ended up having to use a lot of metering tools just to try and understand what I was hearing and to clarify whether I was actually hearing reality or not. Which brings me to the topic of referencing. When you can't trust your room or you can't trust your own ears, referencing is all you've got. Today, what we're going to look at is a plugin. It gives you a number of environments in order to test your mixes out so that you can split the difference between those different spaces and fix any problems that are occurring across multiple rooms or multiple devices. Let me show that to you. Realphones made by dSoniq have loads and loads of different environments within which you can test your music out. Pretty extensive there. When I first started using this, I had to download the profiles from my headphones. So I'm using the Shure 840s. I've also got Sennheisers. I've got the Shures on at the moment, so I'm going to go to that. We'll just have a listen and play around. Now that is, it looks like just a balanced headphone preset. Sounds quite a lot like what I'm hearing in the room from my speakers when I was mixing this. Obviously we've got no vocal to check there, but if something is sibilant, it would obviously poke out what's deep. So there's a bit of splashiness in the cymbals that I don't like. The midfield speaker showing up a little bit of harshness. So that would be something that I would go in and fix. Got quite a few studios, but it's also got these other smartphones, laptops. Let's have a listen to these. Yeah, just so many different places to look at and test this out. What's that? Public space restaurant. Yeah. Okay. So this is a great way to just transport yourself to these different environments and just check how this stuff is translating to these different spaces and kind of preempt any issues that you might end up having. Let's have a listen to a 13-inch laptop. So something like that would be really good for figuring out what instruments you can hear and whether you want to hear those instruments or not, because it's so mid-range focused. Just getting into the details of the plugin. So obviously you can remove the environment and just listen to the headphones. You can adjust the brightness. So it's a bit of a tilt EQ. Looks like we've got the option to just low pass everything. We've also got the ability to listen to just the mids or just the sides. Cool. So basically what you could do is you could have this living on the mix bus as the last plugin in the chain. If you would like, you could have it start in this initial state so that you can do some referencing on headphones and do all those kind of car checks without needing to be in the actual car, which is cool. I'm just going to flick through a bunch of these just to see. Yeah, right. We've got lots of different spaces. Lots of studios, different headphone presets, another studio, different listening environments, concert arena, front of house. So there you go. There's too many to go through in this video, but pretty amazing as a reference tool, and certainly something that you could turn to if you're unsure about your room or if you have any questions surrounding what you're hearing and you maybe don't necessarily want to just do it by the meters. You certainly could do it by the meters. I'm a big fan of the tonal balance control plugin for that. But still, you can screw up a mix if you don't know what you're doing. So this is a great tool just to help you overcome any kind of insecurities that you've got about your mix and help you troubleshoot through issues that are otherwise difficult without having to go to your car, a studio or something like that external to the environment that you work in. And certainly with a plugin like this, it's much easier to get to a place where your mix sounds good on a bunch of different systems. So I'm happy to say that my hearing has come back. I'm still missing a little bit of top end, and my hope is that the eardrum membrane will eventually thin out to the point where it's able to pick up those higher frequencies. Thank you for watching. Happy mixing, and I'll see you in the next video.